So right now I'm watching WWF Armageddon 1999. Now, at this time, the main event of this show is not even for the WWF Championship. It's Triple H versus Vince McMahon. And I don't know why they decided to put that as the main event of a show, but in the Attitude Era, you could do this and people would buy the pay per view because Vince McMahon was a very popular character, I guess you could say. I mean, earlier in the year, he was a heel and people hated him and they wanted to see Stone Cold Steve Austin beat the heck out of him. So Vince McMahon was in the main event of several pay-per-views earlier in the year. Now, putting him in the main event of a pay-per-view as a babyface is a little bit strange, but there was such a heated feud between Vince McMahon and Triple H that it kind of warranted a pay-per-view match. And so, yeah, it will be Triple H versus Vince McMahon in the main event of this show. However, there's other matches on the show that hopefully might make up for, I don't want to say make up for that, but and you never know because Vince McMahon, sometimes he does have good matches. It depends on who he's in the ring with. He had a match with Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 19 that was good. He had a match with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 22 that was good. So Vince McMahon can have good matches if he's in there with the right person. Now, The Rock and Mankind are on this show, but I believe they're in a tag team match. Now, the show's starting, the pyro went off. The opening video package was hyping up the Triple H Vince McMahon feud, which sort of kicked into high gear when Triple H married Vince McMahon's daughter, Stephanie McMahon, before she could marry the person she wanted to marry, which was Test. That there was a big wedding scheduled and everything, but then Triple H ruined the whole thing by revealing that he had taken an unconscious Stephanie McMahon to a wedding chapel, like a drive-through wedding chapel, and married her against her will. Well, I mean, she was incapacitated. She didn't even have a choice in the matter. So, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that went on in the Attitude Era. But Triple H and Vince McMahon had a feud even before that. You know, Triple H and Vince McMahon were going at each other since like late summer of 1999. All right, the first match is about to start. Dudley boys are in the ring. Bubba Ray Dudley is on the microphone. Again, this is very early on in the Dudley boys' WWF careers. They're not even wearing their camouflage gear yet. They still have tie-dye shirts that say Dudley boys on them. And Bubba Ray Dudley still has a stuttering problem. Those things went away as time went on. Here come Edge and Christian. Now, this is before these teams participated in the matches that they would become known for, which is the ladder matches, the tables matches, the tables, ladders, and chairs matches. You know, it's like, this is before all that. That would begin the following year, actually in the pay-per-view after this one, Royal Rumble 2000, when the Dudley boys faced the Hardy Boys in a tables match, tag team tables match. And that was really the beginning of a whole bunch of amazing matches between the Dudleys, the Hardys, and Edge and Christian. Like the tables match they have at Royal Rumble 2000 is an excellent match, one of my favorite matches. But this is the precursor to that. So Edge and Christian versus the Dudleys. And there's more teams coming out. The Headbangers are coming out. Mosh and Thrasher. Okay, this is a battle royal. By the way, for that Triple H versus Vince McMahon match, I don't know if the title is on the line. No, it's not on the line because Big Show is the WWF champion at this time. It's Big Show, I think, versus Big Boss Man for the WWF title on this show. Why they would choose to have a pay-per-view with Triple H versus Vince McMahon as the main event and Big Show versus Boss Man for the title on a pay-per-view, I have no idea, but you know, I guess WWF thought that they could just pretty much put anything out there and people would buy it, and they were right. You know, they were so popular at this time, the WWF, that you could put any character in any situation and pretty much it would work out. Here comes the Mean Street Posse. The Hardy Boys just came out with Terry Runnels as their manager as well. Here comes the Acolytes, Farouk and Bradshaw. And as far as the Mean Street Posse, it is Pete Gas and Rodney. Joey Abs is nowhere to be found. Okay, so the Acolytes are no longer painting those Ministry of Darkness symbols on their chest anymore. So now they're really distancing themselves from the Ministry of Darkness stuff. I don't know if they've started the Acolyte Protection Agency yet, but they have their new theme music. Here comes Too Cool, Scotty Too Hottie, and Grandmaster Sexay. This is when these guys were starting to really rise in popularity. People love these guys now. Remember, this is 1999, so you know, people acting and dressing like the way Too Cool did, you know, like a hip-hop style. That was very popular back then. Here comes Godfather, and I'm assuming D'Lo Brown is his partner. Yep. Oh, no. Godfather and Mark Henry. And everybody's really excited for this because here comes Godfather's women along with him. I mean, the crowd is really hot for this show already. I mean, it's like, I know this is the opening match, but I believe this is in Florida. Yep, this was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. December 12th, 1999. All right, the bell is rung. This battle royal is underway. So there are 8 teams in this battle royal. If one member of a team is eliminated, the entire team is eliminated and they have to both go to the back. Over the top rope, both feet touch the floor. That's how you eliminate people. Okay, Edge and Mosh are outside the ring, but they haven't been eliminated because they went through the middle rope or under the middle rope. Somebody got eliminated. Rodney from the Meat Street Posse, I believe. Oh, wait a second. Rodney got eliminated, but Rodney slid under the ring, and then Joey Abs came out to take his place. So I guess the Mean Street Posse are still in this thing. And again, starting a pay-per-view with a battle royal, that's kind of a little strange to me. Oh, they just eliminated Joey Abs. Now Rodney came back out from under the ring and went back in the ring, as if the posse has not been eliminated. See, the referees can't keep control of this because there's not enough of them. So they didn't see Rodney and Joey Abs getting eliminated. Now Pete Gas got eliminated. And now all three guys are being sent to the back. So finally, the Mean Street Posse is out of this thing. I mean, if I had to take a guess, my guess is that I think Edge, Christian, Hardy's, Dudley's, one of these three teams has got to win. That would be my guess. Godfather and Mark Henry have been eliminated. Oh, Christian and Scotty 2 Hotty are on the ring apron. Remember, they both went over the top, so if one of them gets eliminated here, if one of them hits the floor, they're eliminated. Uh-oh. Too Cool just got eliminated. Both Grandmaster Sexay and Scotty 2 Hotty eliminated at the exact same time. So you still got Edge and Christian, Dudley Boys, Acolytes, Hardy Boys. That's not surprising. I mean, these are the top teams in the Battle Royal. All the other ones were sort of more undercard teams. Edge and Christian double teaming Bubba Ray Dudley. But Devon comes to save the day. This was like a golden age of WWE's tag team division. I mean, think about how spoiled we all were back then. It's like Edge and Christian, Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys, Acolytes, even, Too Cool. And they also still had the New Age Outlaws, the Rock and Sock Connection, the Hollies. I mean, it's like, nowadays, who are the great tag teams in the WWE? Nobody. I mean, nobody really. The Motor City Machine Guns have just recently won the tag titles in their debut match. And that's about it. So there are no real great tag teams in the WWE right now. Nobody. Edge and Christian have been eliminated, apparently. So Dudley's, Dudley's, Hardy's, Acolytes still left. Yeah, the Acolytes are double teaming Matt Hardy. The Dudleys are double teaming Jeff Hardy. My guess is, well, the Hardys are the only babyface team left. So I'm going to go with Hardys winning this one. Let's see if that's the case. Matt trying to eliminate Farouk. Bubba Ray Dudley just DDT'd Bradshaw. And now setting up Bradshaw for that "what's up." And yep. Oh, but they did, this was before they did the "what's up." I mean, Devon Dudley just did a headbutt to Bradshaw's groin from the second rope. Okay. Oh, wow. Matt Hardy just eliminated Devon Dudley. And so that's the end of the Dudleys in this match. And that was right after they gave a Dudley death drop to, well, a modified Dudley death drop to Bradshaw. All right, we're down to the Acolytes and the Hardys. I got to go with the Hardys. Everybody's cheering for the Hardys. The Hardys were a beloved tag team. They were very popular, not only for their in-ring skills, but, you know, the young women loved the Hardys. And Jeff Hardy just did a springboard moonsault on Farouk and took his shirt off in celebration. Bradshaw is on the verge of eliminating Matt Hardy. Wow, they both got eliminated at the same time. Now they're fighting with each other on the outside. Bradshaw and Matt Hardy. But the referee, Jimmy Corderas, was not in position to see the elimination, so he doesn't know who got eliminated first. Either way, I think they both hit at the same time. Yeah, okay, so no one's eliminated. No one's eliminated. But Bradshaw's back in the ring with Farouk and Jeff Hardy. So now they can double team Jeff Hardy because Matt is on the outside. Oh, wow. Bradshaw, clothesline from hell to Jeff Hardy. He just flipped him inside out. This could be the end of Jeff Hardy here if Matt doesn't get back in the ring. Oh, whoa! And Jeff Hardy just Hurricane Rotted Farouk outside the ring over the top rope, eliminated him, but again, the referee didn't see it. The story of this match is the referee, there's only one ref out there and he can't see all the eliminations. And that's saving some people. Twist of Fate by Matt Hardy on Bradshaw. Jeff Hardy, poetry in motion on Farouk. All right, they're back in this thing. Big boot to Matt Hardy's face. Jeff Hardy drop kick to Bradshaw. Spinebuster by Farouk on Jeff Hardy. Oh, wait a second. Bradshaw almost, oh, wow. Jeff Hardy got eliminated. So the Acolytes win. Basically, Farouk launched Jeff Hardy so far above the top rope, and then Jeff Hardy landed on the outside. I mean, that was a dangerous move, but hey, Jeff seems okay, but he got eliminated from the match. So now it's over. Acolytes win the Battle Royal. Lillian Garcia is interviewing Kurt Angle backstage. Kurt Angle only debuted about a month before this show, defeating Shawn Stasiak at the Survivor Series. See, at this time, when Kurt Angle was just starting his WWF career, he was a heel, but he presents himself as an all-American nice guy and good guy, and it's but everybody hates that, because this is the Attitude Era. Nobody likes nice guys. People liked Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock and people like that. People who had like an edge to them. Kurt Angle is the Olympic gold medalist. Here he comes. I believe he's facing Steve Blackman. Lethal Weapon Steve Blackman, who's a legitimate martial artist. It's funny because Kurt Angle is a legitimate amateur wrestler. Blackman's a legitimate martial artist. And you would think Steve Blackman would have a chance of winning this match, but no. Because he's on the undercard. Kurt Angle grabbed the mic to say he wants to talk about the 3 I's: intelligence, intensity, integrity. And, Blackman's entrance music cut him off. He came sprinting to the ring. The match has started. Blackman is taking it to Kurt Angle. Now, Kurt Angle's going to win this match. I mean, it's like... right as soon as Kurt Angle debuted, I think the WWF knew that this could be somebody who could be a real asset in the years to come. So, yeah, he beat Shawn Stasiak on his debut, and he absolutely is going to beat Steve Blackman here. Oh, Blackman just tried a headbutt from the second rope on Angle. Angle moved out of the way. Oh. Kurt just landed a clothesline on Blackman. Even though this is very early on in Kurt Angle's pro wrestling career, he is so smooth in the ring already. I mean, you would think he's been doing this for his whole life, which, I mean, he's been an amateur wrestler his whole life. So in terms of like physical movement and body control and things like that, I mean, has a whole lifetime of practice with that. And people have said that nobody ever picked up, the elements of pro wrestling faster than Kurt Angle. And I agree. I mean, oh, wow, look at this. Oh, wow. Kurt Angle on the top turnbuckle went for a moonsault. Picture perfect moonsault, by the way. But Blackman moved out of the way, so he missed it. Now, Steve Blackman going for a submission hold. It's like a bow and arrow submission hold. But then Blackman had his shoulders down, so the ref started counting the pinfall, and Blackman had to break the hold. Blackman just Irish whipped Angle into the corner. Backbreaker by Blackman on Angle. Okay, so another submission hold by Blackman. It was barely locked in. It was barely locked in before Blackman broke it because I don't think he could get it locked in all the way. Kurt Angle, DDT on Steve Blackman. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, and Blackman kicks out. But again, like I said, the biggest thing you can notice at this stage of Angle's career is that he is so smooth in the ring. And he already has like a pretty full-fledged character here with the goody two-shoes all-American character. And this is the second pay-per-view in a row where Kurt Angle's match is getting boring chants. Steve Blackman just Irish whipped Kurt Angle into the steel steps. Blackman just tried a sunset flip on Kurt Angle. Crossbody on Steve Blackman. Steve Blackman rolls over, goes for the pin. They're chanting Angle sucks. Oh, big boot by Steve Blackman to Kurt Angle. Oh, wow. Drop toe hold by Blackman on Angle. Angle went head first into the middle turnbuckle. This is a lot more competitive of a match than you would expect. But this is only about a month into Kurt Angle's career, so... I mean, it makes sense because he's getting used to a new profession. Snap suplex by Blackman on Angle. Even Kurt Angle's selling is good. He's making Blackman look good here. This is probably one of Steve Blackman's better matches. Pinning combination by Blackman. Angle gets the shoulder up. Steve Blackman going to the middle rope here. Went for a big splash, but Kurt Angle got the feet up and kicked him off. Uh-oh. Kurt Angle going for a pinning combination. 1, 2. It's like a half Nelson pin. Oh, Blackman went for an enziguri. German suplex pin. 1, 3 count. Angle gets the 3 count on Blackman. So we didn't get to see the Angle slam, the Olympic slam. Uh-oh. Steve Blackman has nunchucks. Oh, and he's attacking Blackman with the nunchucks. And Blackman is raising his hands in the air and getting cheered by the crowd. Excuse me. They're showing a woman backstage. There is some kind of a strange match on this show. It's like a match between women that takes place in a pool. Oh, wow. So in the pool, There's going to be a bunch of women competing for the WWF Women's Championship. I believe this is up next. Here comes, I think, Miss Kitty, who at this time was associated with Chyna. So she was coming out to Chyna's music. Chyna has a match on this show, I believe. I think it's with Chris Jericho. So Miss Kitty is participating in this match. It's an evening gown match, and the goal of the match is to take off the evening gowns of your opponents. Here comes Jacqueline. I mean, this is the kind of matches they had back then. You would never see this today. It would be hilarious if they did it, though. These days with the female wrestlers they have, but they're not going to. No, what they do instead is they have NXT. And NXT is basically a showcase for beautiful women wearing next to nothing. And the camera men on that show, I guess they've been instructed to get as many shots of certain body parts as they can, because they really focus on that when you watch NXT. Just watch any women's match on NXT and you'll know what I'm talking about. Not the old NXT, you know, back when Bayley, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair were there. That was like legit, like a great wrestling show. You know, now it's different. This is in 2024. Go watch NXT and you'll see what I'm talking about. So Miss Kitty's in this match. A woman named BB is in this match. She was only around for a short period of time in the WWF. Ivory is in the match. She's the champion. And Jacqueline. So that's 4 women in this match. I guess Moolah and Mae Young are supervising this match to decide who is the winner, because I guess there's no real referee. Oh, they were just showing how these women wound up in the pool. Miss Kitty and BB just threw each other in the pool. Ivory is trying to rip off Jacqueline's dress. All 4 women are in the pool now. I feel bad for Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler. They have to call this match. It's not even a match. Although I will say this is a good idea to have stuff like this, because the more variety you have on a wrestling show. Oh, wow. Ivory just tore off Jackie's whoa. Yeah, she just tore off Jackie's evening dress, so Jackie is eliminated, Jacqueline. Now Ivory is going after BB now. Well, she was like drowning her in the pool. Now Ivory and Miss Kitty are both drowning BB in the pool. This is ridiculous. Yeah, but like I was saying, it's good to show variety on a wrestling show, and they did that a lot on Attitude Era pay-per-views. Not only with like the women's matches like this, but remember they've already had a battle royal on this match. Then there was other strange matches that they would have, like hardcore title matches that went all over the arena. Okay, so BB's evening gown has been removed. She's been eliminated. Miss Kitty and Ivory are the final two now. Yeah, so on Attitude Era pay-per-views, you would see things like Ken Shamrock and Steve Blackman had a Lion's Den match once, which was like a UFC cage match type of thing. That happened at SummerSlam 99. On the pay-per-view before that, Fully Loaded 99, Shamrock and Blackman had an Iron Circle match, which was basically like a parking lot brawl. And that's kept the show interesting. I mean, you got to see all these different kinds of stuff. It wasn't just one regular match after another regular match after another regular match, which is what they do today. There's not a lot of variety. Wait a second. Miss Kitty just took off Ivory's evening gown, and now Miss Kitty has the Miss Kitty has won the match, and she is the new WWF Women's Champion. And she won by ripping off Ivory's evening gown. And Moolah and Mae Young are raising her hand in victory and giving her the title belt. That's unbelievable. Now, on the live pay-per-view, when this aired back in 1999, Miss Kitty took off her evening gown and then took off her bra as well, and they showed her bare chest on the show. Very briefly. Miss Kitty's on the mic now. Miss Kitty Miss Kitty said, I know you all came here to see me get naked. And so that's what she's going to do. So she just took off her evening gown. She's wearing bra and panties. And she just jumped in the pool. She just jumped in the pool. And then they just showed it here. She just took off her bra, revealed her chest, but it was censored on this version of the broadcast. And then Sergeant Slaughter covered her with a towel. But on the live show, they actually showed her chest, I believe. Anyway, you can find footage of it on the internet. So, but this is some hilarious stuff because you would never see this in today's WWE. Now Mae Young saying she's going to do the same thing that Mae Young is doing the same thing that Miss Kitty had done. But then Sergeant Slaughter covered her up too. She took off her evening gown though. This is what you get, you know, in the Attitude Era. It will be Rikishi and Viscera against Hardcore Holly and Crash Holly. Rikishi is being interviewed by Kevin Kelly backstage. So Rikishi was a new character at this time. Rikishi said he's going to put his butt on the Holly's faces. Rikishi basically just said to Viscera, because they're not really a tag team, but they're going to be tag team partners in this match. He said Viscera better have his back. And Rikishi said he'll have Viscera's back. Now, again, there's no big, heavily anticipated matches on this show. I mean, I guess people want to see Triple H versus Vince McMahon because that feud has been going on for about half the year, maybe 3 or 4 months. So people want to see Vince McMahon get some revenge on Triple H. But other than that, I don't think there's any other matches on the show that are like heavily promoted or anything. I think the undercard of the show is really just whatever. A lot of matches you would probably see on Raw or SmackDown. And the strange thing is that it didn't have to be that way. Like, they had Big Show as WWF champion. They could have given him a real challenger. Didn't have to be Big Boss Man, even though Big Show has been in a feud with the Big Boss Man for like a month or so, or maybe 2 months. They could have had Big Show versus The Rock. They could have. They didn't. That would have been a much more interesting match, and people would be into it because seeing The Rock get a shot at the title, hey. But I guess they couldn't do that because then they would have to have The Rock lose again. And The Rock has lost, I think, a few too many title matches during 1999. They don't want him to lose again. They basically booked themselves into a corner. So they kind of were forced to have a show that didn't have any real, point to it other than seeing Vince McMahon get revenge on Triple H. Here comes Viscera, who also has new theme music. He's no longer using the Ministry of Darkness theme music. Here comes Rikishi. Okay, now the match has started. Rikishi's out here. Brand new superstar. I mean, he obviously used to be in the WWF. Oh, wow. Rikishi just sat on one of the Hollies. 1, 2. And Crash Holly just got the shoulder up. Wow, that could have been over real fast. Rikishi used to compete in a tag team. And he's actually competed at WrestleMania multiple times before this. He used to be the Sultan. He used to be in a tag team, I think, with the Tonga Kid, maybe? I think they call themselves the Samoan SWAT team. Right, it was Rikishi and I think one of his relatives. Yeah, he was in, let's see. Yeah, with Samu, part of the Samoan SWAT team, that's right. Rikishi's trying to tag in Viscera. Viscera doesn't look like he wants to tag in. Okay. See. Okay. Rikishi just forced Viscera to come into this match. Now it's Viscera versus Hardcore Holly in the ring. Hardcore Holly just tried to knock him down. That didn't work. Hardcore Holly hit a drop kick on Viscera, knocked him down, went for the pin. Viscera kicked out. I mean, this is a newsworthy show, I guess. We do have a new WWF Women's Champion. And I think there's a tag title match on this show. And it's possible that The Rock and Mankind are involved. Oh, Hardcore Holly just tried to clothesline Viscera. That didn't work. And meanwhile, back body drop by Viscera on Hardcore Holly and a huge leg drop on Crash. Wow, Rikishi and Viscera are pretty much dominating the Hollies here. As expected. I mean, jeez. This was at a time when the Hollies were pretending, oh, wow. It's like almost like Rikishi did like a press up. He pressed up Crash Holly and gave him like a cutter, like an RKO. Oh wow, big kick to Hardcore Holly. And Rikishi's going for a big pile driver by Rikishi on Crash. Nope. Hardcore Holly going for the... Wow. Hardcore Holly just pinned Rikishi after, I think, Viscera accidentally took out Rikishi. Rikishi is not happy that they lost the match. And he's having a discussion with Viscera. It's probably not going to go so well. And now Viscera just pushed Rikishi. Big kick to Viscera by Rikishi. Referees are separating Rikishi and Viscera. Now Lillian Garcia is standing backstage interviewing Venis. Val is going to be in a European title match here tonight. I think British Bulldog was the European champion at this time. Val is cutting the most. he's talking. He's giving a promo like a brand new wrestler who just entered the business. Here comes D'Lo Brown. Okay, so there's more than... Okay, this is not a one-on-one match. So D'Lo Brown is coming out. Val Venis is in this match. We'll see who else. I'm guessing British Bulldog. Here comes the British Bulldog accompanied by the Mean Street Posse. Yeah, they were like a weird stable at this time. It just sort of looks out of place for the Mean Street Posse to be in a stable with the British Bulldog. Yeah, so Bulldog's the European champion at this time. Triple threat match. The referee, Teddy Long, is telling the Mean Street Posse they got to go to the back. So now British Bulldog doesn't have his crew to help him. Now it's straight up triple threat match. Every man for himself. For the European title, Val Venis, D'Lo Brown, British Bulldog. Match has started. Val has D'Lo in the corner. Oh, wow. D'Lo Brown with a huge plancha over the top rope to the outside. He just dove over the top rope and took out Val and British Bulldog, who were on the outside. Now Val and D'Lo back in the ring. Big kick by Val. You know, the Val Venis character was great in 1998, great in 1999, was okay in 2000, and then everything sort of fell apart about a year after the show when he joined the Right to Censor, cut his hair, and started wrestling in like a dress shirt and pants, like white pants, and he was that just killed the Val Venis character, and he never really recovered from that. Even though he returned to being Val Venis later on, it just never worked. And he shaved his head, and it's like, it's just none of it worked. So there's only about one more year of this character at its peak, and then just nothing after that. Although I think Val Venis might be doing well these days. I think he has businesses and stuff outside of wrestling. I don't think he's wrestling anymore. So, and obviously British Bulldog has passed away. D'Lo Brown is still involved in wrestling in some capacity. I don't think he's not an active wrestler, but I believe he works backstage somewhere. Yep, he's part of TNA Wrestling as a producer. That's where D'Lo is right now. So credit to him. He's had a very long career in the world of wrestling. And D'Lo just told British Bulldog that he sucks. Oh, wow. D'Lo tried to do a springboard off the rope, but slipped, but still managed to pull off a move where he threw Val Venis. But Val Venis is right back up, drops a knee on him, goes for the cover, and didn't get the 3. So British Bulldog is on the outside. Val and D'Lo are in the ring. Big suplex by Val. See, that doesn't make any sense. Now Val is pulling British Bulldog back in the ring. See, in a triple threat match, what's the reason for that? He could have just capitalized on D'Lo and pinned him. See, kind of weird ring psychology. But he just cracked their skulls together. Oh, wow. They just tried a double arm drag on British Bulldog, and that really didn't work. It looked real ugly. And the crowd groaned. Yeah, there's some botches going on in this match. Double suplex by Val and D'Lo on British Bulldog. And they hit it. That was picture perfect. D'Lo goes for the cover on Bulldog after dropping an elbow on Val. Now Val goes for the cover on Bulldog, and D'Lo breaks it up. Crowd is chanting for D'Lo. Yeah, the Val Venis character was losing steam throughout the latter half of '99 and into 2000. He even aligns himself with Trish Stratus. I guess that was to try to give him a boost. But again, I mean, it just sort of everything fizzled out, and then Val was done once he joined the Right to Censor. Val Venis dropkick to D'Lo Brown. D'Lo Brown landed crotch first on the top rope. All right, Val. Looks like he's going for a superplex on D'Lo Brown. And again, British Bulldog is just standing outside the ring watching them. That happened earlier in the match too. Oh, look at this now. D'Lo looking like sunset flip powerbomb. 1, 2. And Bulldog pulled the referee out of the ring, so D'Lo couldn't win the title. D'Lo has the pin. He could have won, but Bulldog made sure that didn't happen. Oh, British Bulldog, big kick to Val. Spine buster by Val Venis. Goes for the cover. 1, 2. No. Didn't get it. Bulldog hit his finishing move though, running power slam on Val. Goes for the cover, but D'Lo put Val's foot on the rope. So, match is still going on. Spinebuster by D'Lo on Bulldog. Hey, maybe D'Lo will win this thing. Whoa, big frog splash. 1, 2, oh. Val Venis hit the money shot on D'Lo. Goes for the cover. Wow, he got the 3 count. That was a cool ending. So Val Venis wins the European Championship. So D'Lo hit his finishing move, went to cover Bulldog, but then Val hit his finishing move off the top rope. D'Lo moved out of the way because he got hit with it, and then Val covered Bulldog and won. New European champion. And that goes along with the new women's champion, Miss Kitty. So there's some news coming out of this show. There haven't been any matches worth watching yet, really. X-Pac and Kane are going to have a cage match. This was when Tori was Kane's girlfriend, and she was sort of involved in the feud between X-Pac and Kane. Now, there's going to be a cage match, but X-Pac is the only one who's allowed to escape the cage as a means of winning the match. X-Pac just said Kane is not allowed to escape the cage. Kane has to win by pinfall or submission. Here comes Kane. Let's see if he comes out with Tori. This is a cage match, so she can't really... Oh, yeah, yes, she is coming out with Kane. So she could get involved here, but she would have to climb the cage. Jerry Lawler just said, look at Tori. She's really starting to look good, huh, JR? Jeez. You would never hear that from a commentator in today's WWE. It's so funny to see things that wouldn't fly today on this show. We've already seen several things. I mean, the entire pool match for the Women's Championship. You would never see that. They used to have bikini contests and bra and panties matches, and, you know, people loved it. That was a big attraction on the show, but you can't get away with that these days. Although, honestly, they probably could, but I don't think any of the female wrestlers would want to be involved with that kind of stuff. Yeah, because they want to be treated like, you know, big stars, and the women wrestlers get paid way more than they used to at this time, I guarantee you. They're probably getting paid like 5 times as much as what they used to get paid back then. Here comes X-Pac. Minimum. You know, the top stars, people who've been around forever and ever, people like Bayley and, well, Becky Lynch isn't there anymore, but, you know, people like Bayley, I'm sure she just signed a new deal. She probably makes enormous amounts of money. And rightfully so. I mean, she's been a cornerstone of the women's division for a decade now, so you should probably give her a good deal. She's one of the biggest stars in the company. Oh, jeez. Kane climbed out over the top of the cage because X-Pac was talking to Tori. on the outside. So this is a cage match, but it hasn't started yet because they're outside of the ring. Wow, and X-Pac just hit Kane in the head with a ring bell. Remember, the match hasn't started. X-Pac is climbing the cage now. Now Kane is too. Okay, match has started. Kane with an uppercut on X-Pac. Yeah. Jim Ross is admonishing Jerry Lawler for making innuendos that are inappropriate. Jerry Lawler was suggesting that Kane is not well endowed, and Jim Ross is tired of hearing this kind of stuff. So, Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler were the best commentary duo I've ever seen, ever. And today's commentary is nothing compared to them, not even close. No, X-Pac off the top turnbuckle, went for a crossbody on Kane, but Kane caught him. Oh, and then X-Pac wiggled out of the way and pushed Kane into the cage. And then big kick by X-Pac. X-Pac was trying to climb out of the cage. Kane went after him, but then X-Pac kicked Kane. Kane landed crotch first on the top rope. Oh, big leg drop off the top rope by X-Pac. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, no. X-Pac just got pressed off of Kane. Kane, you just showing that he's so much stronger than X-Pac. You know, within the story, kudos to X-Pac for even taking this match against Kane. Oh, big DDT by X-Pac. You know, the funny thing about this match is they are really making X-Pac look good for having him be able to go toe-to-toe with Kane here. X-Pac, oh no, Kane just hit a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker on X-Pac. Go! Kane threw X-Pac face first into the cage. Now he threw him face first into another side of the cage. Kane making a comeback now. Big boot by Kane on X-Pac. Now Kane, he's going to the top rope. Uh-oh. Here comes Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, part of D-Generation X. They are X-Pac's friends who are cutting the chain off the cage door. Or they're trying anyway. X-Pac, wow. New Age Outlaws threw a chair into the ring, and X-Pac just hit an X Factor on Kane, and Kane went face first into the steel chair that was in the middle of the ring. Now, the Outlaws also brought some handcuffs, gave it to X-Pac. Now, X-Pac is handcuffing Kane to the cage. Well, obviously, wow. Now, X-Pac with a steel chair. Oh, he just hit Kane in the head with the chair. I mean, X-Pac could just win the match here now. He could just walk out of the cage. Yo, the Outlaws left the door open, so Tori went in the ring and pulled X-Pac down. And oh, wait a second here. X-Pac just spit in Tori's face and hit an X Factor on her. Oh, wow. Kane just broke the handcuffs. Kane just exited the cage because the door is open, but he didn't win. He didn't win because he can't win that way. He has to win by pinfall. So he grabbed X-Pac, who was trying to escape, throws him back in the ring. Oh, hits him in the head with the cage door. Well, this is the best match on the show so far. That's for sure. Now Kane back in the ring with X-Pac. Now he's going to the top rope. Kane standing on the top turnbuckle. No frickin' way. No frickin' way. Now Kane is climbing to the very top of the cage. Oh my goodness. Kane just jumped off the top of the cage and hit a clothesline on X-Pac. The crowd went nuts. Yeah, they're having the best match on the show. Kudos to these two. Kane calling for the tombstone pile driver. Hits it. 1, 2, 3. Kane defeats X-Pac in the cage match. Definitely the best match on the show. It wasn't great, but I mean, they had a good final sequence there. So this show, again, I've mentioned this on other streams I've done. Even if the Attitude Era matches on the pay-per-views weren't 5-star matches, they were entertaining enough and short enough that the show feels fine. Like, the show feels like I'm watching an entertaining show because they've had a bunch of matches already. We're only, an hour, not even an hour and a half into the show. And they've had a bunch of matches. They've had a variety of different kinds of matches. Remember, they had the Battle Royal. They just had a cage match. They had that Women's Championship pool match. And so, I mean, you're watching an entertaining show, even if you're not getting 5-star matches. You got a triple threat European title match. Okay, now the Intercontinental title is on the line next, Chyna versus Chris Jericho. So this rivalry has become more serious since the previous pay-per-view. At Survivor Series 1999, Chris Jericho had a one-on-one match with Chyna, and they had the best match on the show. And in that match, Chyna retained the Intercontinental Championship by hitting a pedigree to Jericho off the top rope. And it was a very good match. And Chris Jericho was a heel at this time, being very chauvinistic and basically saying he's superior to Chyna because he's the guy, she's the girl. But things have become much more serious since that match. So now they're having another match for the Intercontinental title. Let's see if this match can top the cage match between Kane and X-Pac, because Chyna has had some good matches on pay-per-view during the year 1999. She had the match against Road Dogg at King of the Ring 1999. She had the Good Housekeeping match against Jeff Jarrett at No Mercy 99, and obviously the match at Survivor Series 99 against Jericho, which was probably Jericho's best match in the WWF up to that point. He had debuted in the summer of 99, but it wasn't until that match with Chyna when he really, showed people, okay, he can have a really good match on a big show. And Jericho has said that he didn't even really like working with Chyna. But hey, they pulled off a good match with each other. They just showed a video package leading up to this match. Basically, Chyna has been insulting Jericho's manhood. Here comes Chris Jericho. Now, Chyna is the Intercontinental Champion heading into this match. Now, Chyna, the Intercontinental Champion, is coming out with Miss Kitty, who has the WWF Women's Championship. So, this is a good time to be them at this time. And Miss Kitty has changed her wardrobe. Now she is dressed like a mini-me of Chyna. And now, it was because of Miss Kitty that Chyna was able to beat Chris Jericho at the previous pay-per-view. Miss Kitty got up on the ring apron and was distracting the ref. Chyna low-blowed Jericho and then hit a pedigree off the top rope. So Chyna cheated to win. But it's not really a big deal because Jericho also tried to cheat to win during that match and failed. Match has started. Oh, big knee to Jericho. Chyna just dropped an elbow on Jericho. Now, in the lead up to this match, I believe Jericho attacked Chyna's hand with a hammer and broke her thumb or something. And because I think she has a cast, like a soft cast on her right hand. Whoa. Jericho went after Chyna, but Chyna flew over the top rope. And Jericho then missed and went over the top rope. Now Chyna just hit a clothesline on Jericho off the ring apron. So the match is starting off good so far. Oh, thumb to the eyes of Chyna by Jericho. So Jericho really is the heel here. Wow, Jericho just picked up Chyna in suplex position and dropped her face first on the English announce table. Wait a second, Jericho has a steel chair. And now Miss Kitty pulling the chair away. Trying to pull the chair away from Jericho. Didn't work. Chyna just drop kicked the steel chair into Jericho's face. So that backfired. Yeah, I don't think, like, in the story, the idea behind this is that Jericho's going to completely lose his mind here if he loses to Chyna again. This feud has been going on for about 2 months. I think Jericho forced a kiss on Miss Kitty, which he did at the previous pay-per-view too. He's really leaning into the chauvinistic character, which Jeff Jarrett portrayed before he left WWF and joined WCW. Oh, wow. Hey, hang on a second. Chyna just hit a low blow to Jericho. Jericho flew off the top rope right into a low blow. And Mike Chioda, the referee, was distracted by Miss Kitty, so didn't see it. Now, Chyna with a handspring elbow and a DDT on Jericho. That could be it. 1, 2. Nope, not done. Yeah, Chyna and Jericho had some great false finishes in their previous match at Survivor Series 99. And so far, this match is the best match on the card so far. Chyna is tied up in the ropes here. Jericho's going to take advantage. He's got a big smile on his face. He's slapping her in the face. Oh, and he's attacking that thumb that he destroyed with a hammer. Well, a drop kick right to that thumb. And this could be the story of the match. Because this gives Jericho a way to win, but it still protects Chyna if she loses the title. Because they could just say, oh, well, Chyna lost the title because of that thumb. Oh, Chyna just did a Hurricane Rana into a pin. Jericho went for a pin, a very arrogant pin, putting one foot on Chyna's chest. And that didn't work. Chyna got the shoulder up. Oh, Chyna. Big clothesline on Jericho. Jericho goes for the pin. And Chyna kicks out. Jericho backbreaker. And he's got a submission hold on Chyna. He's got her bent over his knee. Jericho went for a clothesline. Oh, wow. Chyna hit him with a crossbody. Almost won there. The crowd is really into this match, and I think it's because the women really love Chyna, and you can hear them react to every opportunity she has to win the match. So Chyna is making a comeback. Oh, but Jericho put an end to that. Bulldog looks like he could be going for the lion salt. Oh, no, not yet. The men are chanting for Jericho. Scoop slam on Chyna. Lion, oh, here it is. Lion salt, but Chyna got the knees up. Women are going crazy for Chyna. Chyna landing forearms on Jericho. Oh, big kick to Jericho, and then swinging neck breaker by Chyna on Jericho. Goes for the cover. 1, 2. Jericho presses her off. Yeah, they're definitely having the best match on the show so far. Jericho, big boot to Chyna. And then, oh, Chyna just powerbombed him. And wait a second here. She looks like she, oh, slingshot to Jericho. Jericho hits his head on the top turnbuckle. Big clothesline by Chyna. Goes for the cover. 1, 2. Oh, Jericho just got the shoulder up. By the way, for whatever reason, Jericho and Chyna are really good at setting up false finishes. I don't know if there's somebody who is helping them with their matches, or, you know, it's not that I don't want to give them credit. I'm just saying it's pretty spectacular that both of these backslide by Jericho. It's just like the way they're doing their false finishes in this match and their match at Survivor Series. It's just so much better than what anybody else is doing on the card. So I'm just wondering, is Jericho the secret ingredient, or is there somebody backstage helping them with their matches? Laying them out? Is it? Whoa. Wait a second. Oh, wow. Jericho went for a back suplex off the middle rope to Chyna, but Chyna reversed it into a like a crossbody in midair, and Chyna went for the cover, but Jericho kicked out. Again, another good sequence. I'm guessing, oh, another pinning combination by Chyna, but now Jericho going for walls of Jericho. Again, the last couple of minutes of this match have been outstanding. He's got it. He's got it locked in. Walls of Jericho. Oh, Jericho pulled her away from the ropes. She was trying to make it to the ropes. Couldn't make it. Miss Kitty is cheering her on. Oh no! Chyna tapped out. And the men in the crowd are so happy to see that. Chris Jericho wins his very first championship in the WWF. Chris Jericho is the WWF Intercontinental Champion, and that was a dream of his since he was a kid. And now he's done it. I believe Jericho has been wrestling for almost 9 years at this point, or maybe more than 9 years at this point. And boy, finally achieved his dream. He became Intercontinental Champ. Obviously, he has bigger goals, but that was a big feather in his cap to win that title. And this was the first of many intercontinental title reigns for Chris Jericho. Kept winning that title over and over and over again. Even after he left the WWE in 2005 and returned, I think it was at the end of 2007. Even then, even in that second run, he won the Intercontinental title and the World Championships as well. But hey, you know, Jericho made Chyna tap out, actually. Now he's getting interviewed by Michael Cole backstage. Chyna and Miss Kitty walking up to Jericho. And Chyna wants to shake his hand. Wow. So they showed some sportsmanship there, Jericho and Chyna. See, this is where they start turning Jericho into a babyface. Because Jericho and Chyna are not done with each other yet. It's actually a very interesting story. Again, the storylines back then were so much more interesting than what they do today. Like Jericho and Chyna started out as heated rivals, and then they sort of gained some mutual respect for each other, and they actually start to really support one another. I mean, it's very interesting. And then obviously Jericho becomes one of the biggest baby faces in the business during the year 2000. So that's the beauty of pro wrestling. You know, when you can do great things when you have great performers like Jericho and you have great stories. You have to have a great creative team coming up with those stories, and you can do great things. All right, here comes the tag team championship match now. I believe it is Mankind and The Rock and Sock Connection, facing off against Badass Billy Gunn and Road Dogg, the New Age Outlaws. Here comes The Rock, and the crowd is just coming unglued. Whew, what an ovation for The Rock. Oh my goodness. And remember, The Rock is from Miami, Florida, and this show is taking place in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. My goodness. And this is The Rock, everywhere he goes, he's at, like, you know, beloved and everything. He's at the peak of his popularity, but I mean, The Rock is always popular. I can't say it's the peak of his popularity, but he was on fire at this time. And for him to come back to Florida, everyone knowing he lives in Florida, my goodness. What an ovation. Obviously the biggest of anyone on the show. Wow. Wow. My goodness. That is unbelievable, the reaction this guy is getting. Wow, man, wow. They're chanting Rocky. Now here comes the New Age Outlaws, the tag team champions of the world. Outlaws are in the ring. Road Dogg's got the mic. This is probably the biggest match of the New Age Outlaws' careers. Let's see if they can top Jericho and Chyna. Because Jericho and Chyna had the best match so far. Anytime a tag team got in the ring with The Rock and anybody else, it's like, yeah, that's like the biggest match of their careers. Like, I think the Dudley Boys faced The Rock and Chris Jericho once, and that was like an unbelievable reaction during that match. The whole match, like, the crowd is on the edge of their seat because The Rock is involved. Anything The Rock is involved with, I mean, everything he touches turns to gold. It's amazing. It really is spectacular to see a human being get a reaction like this. And he doesn't even have to say anything, just his presence. And everyone's chanting for The Rock, even though Mankind and Road Dogg are starting the match. Man, you can feel the excitement for this match. The crowd has not been excited for any other match as much as this one, and it is because of The Rock. If you take The Rock out and you put Al Snow in, there is there's going to be no particular reaction there. And I mention Al Snow because Mankind and Al Snow had also teamed together at this time. Yeah, and I mention Al Snow because at the previous pay-per-view, Survivor Series 1999, the New Age Outlaws did face Mankind and Al Snow. Tag team titles on the line. And that match didn't get any kind of reaction like this. So the only element that changed was The Rock. So obviously Rock is a big difference than The Rock makes a big difference. Billy Gunn in the ring with Mankind. Obviously, Rock standing on the apron to get the hot tag. Oh, Mankind's pointing to The Rock, and the crowd's going nuts. My goodness. Just for Rock getting tagged in, the standing ovation. It's like they're watching a master in his prime. And yes, I do believe The Rock just might be the greatest professional wrestler of all time. You know, my favorite wrestlers are The Rock, Shawn Michaels, CM Punk, but if I had to like say who's the best, I mean it's going to be between The Rock and Shawn Michaels. I mean, there's tons of wrestlers I like. I mean, tons of them. Oh, Rock just hit a clothesline on Billy Gunn. It comes down to Rock and Shawn Michaels in terms of who's the greatest. But I would have to go with The Rock. I lean towards The Rock because of his work in the latter half of '99 and throughout 2000. I mean, and even early 2001, right up until he took a break after WrestleMania 17. That stretch of time, I mean, the reactions this guy was getting and some of the matches he was having too were outstanding. Like, that's the thing, his in-ring work caught up with his charisma and his promo skills. And so, like, by the time you get to this point, you know, late 1999 and throughout 2000, the guy was just unstoppable all across the board. Oh, mandible claw on the Road Dogg by Mankind, and Billy Gunn, he interferes, but The Rock is going after Billy Gunn now. They have a feud dating back to earlier in the year, like 6 months earlier. Billy Gunn cost The Rock some important matches. I think specifically the one at Fully Loaded 99 for the #1 contendership to the WWF Championship. Rock was facing Triple H in a leather strap match. Billy Gunn got involved and affected the outcome. And then The Rock and Billy Gunn had a match at SummerSlam, which was won by The Rock. The Rock, big arm drag to Billy Gunn over the barricade because they're fighting outside now. All four guys. Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler are still talking about innuendos on commentary. It's so funny because I can't even repeat what they're saying because some of the things that Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler say are hilarious. You got to see it for yourself. Not particularly during this show, but just all throughout the years when they were doing commentary together. They were the best team. Road Dogg and Rock are in the ring. Road Dogg is just punching Rock a million times. And about a minute ago, he was kicking Rock about a million times. Watch, Rock is going to make a comeback right now. Oh no. Road Dogg hit a big right hand on the Rock. Goes for the cover. 1, 2. Nope. Rock kicked out. Road Dogg landing chops on the Rock. Yo, the Rock's got to make a comeback soon. Crowd is starting to get out of it. Oh, Road Dogg is giving the... oh! Yep. Road Dogg was taunting the Rock with the DX crotch chop. And the Rock hit him with a big clothesline. Now Road Dogg going for the pump handle slam. Yeah. Oh! Big low blow by the Rock on Road Dogg. Kicked him. Billy Gunn hit the Rock from behind, and then Road Dogg hit a big boot. Now Billy Gunn back in the ring. Seeing the Rock in a vulnerable position in this type of a match is hard to believe because you have to remember the Rock main evented WrestleMania 15, multiple-time WWF champion. He was in big matches all year long, so really the Rock should be beating the living heck out of Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. He's been in a vulnerable position here too long in this match because it's hard to believe. I mean, he's too good for that. He should be destroying them, and I think the crowd would have loved that if Rock and Mankind just handed New Age Outlaws their rear ends. And now Billy Gunn has a chin lock in on the Rock. See, this is exactly the wrong thing to do in my opinion. The way the match was going, it was already losing steam because Road Dogg was beating up the Rock for a little too long there. And now here's Billy Gunn doing the same thing, like they got a chin lock on the Rock. The Rock got his arm up. Oh, the Rock is fighting back, making a comeback. He got out of the chin lock. Big DDT by Billy Gunn. No, the Rock on Billy Gunn. Now both guys are out, laying flat on the mat. I'm guessing a kip up might be coming by the Rock. I always thought it was amazing that the Rock could do a perfect kip up for a guy his size. And I know there's other guys who are enormous who can do kip ups like Drew McIntyre. He's another one. I'm like, I cannot believe like the athleticism of a guy that size to pull that off is truly amazing. Road Dogg and Mankind. So the Rock got the, I guess the hot tag to Mankind. See, this wasn't structured properly because Mankind is not the one who should be getting the hot tag. It should be the Rock. Now, so they didn't construct this match properly. That's why they're not getting the reaction that they should be getting. For a match of this magnitude, Rock and Mankind versus New Age Outlaws, tag titles on the line. Anyway, so Mankind got the hot tag and he's taking on both Outlaws by himself. See, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Even though Mankind himself is a multiple-time WWF champion, had some big-time main event matches during '99. Now Mankind is mocking Road Dogg doing his shake, rattle, and roll jabs. Mankind just hit a pile driver on Road Dogg, but the referee has been accidentally knocked down. Mankind is trying to get the ref to recover. And then Billy Gunn just made it worse by jumping on Mankind and the referee. Now The Rock just punched Billy Gunn over the top. See, they're not really getting the reaction they should for all this because they... no, I'm going to say why. I mentioned it. The Rock got beat up for too long. And Mankind is the one who got the hot tag, even though that's not what should have happened. What they should have done is they should have had Rock start the match. Start the match, tag in Mankind at some point, let Mankind be the one who gets the heck beaten out of him, and then The Rock gets the hot tag. That should have been what happened. That's why they're getting sort of a muted reaction here. Oh, look at this. Mankind has Mr. Sacco locked in on Road Dogg, and then Al Snow just came out and hit Mankind with the mannequin head. In the head. Now Road Dogg has Mankind covered. 1, 2. And The Rock just pulled the referee out of the ring. Which is funny. Because, yeah, The Rock is going after Al Snow. It's funny. The Rock actually wants to win the tag titles here. With Mankind, apparently. Now The Rock is beating up Al Snow. Oh, and he hit Al Snow in the head with the mannequin head. Oh, look at this. Road Dogg is holding Mankind, and Billy Gunn smacks Mankind in the head with the ring bell. Well, and Road Dogg went for the cover, and Mankind managed to get the shoulder up. Even after getting whacked in the head with the ring bell. All right, so this match continues. Again, they're not getting the reaction they should be getting. But I think they're about to, because The Rock is going to get tagged in at some point here. Okay, Billy Gunn looks like he's going for a pile driver, and he hit it. Goes for the cover. 1, 2. Mankind gets the shoulder up. Yeah. Billy Gunn was taunting The Rock. Oh, now they're going for a spike pile driver on Mankind. Didn't work. Oh, and then Mankind falls backwards, knocks Road Dogg off the top turnbuckle. So that has taken care of the... he did a backdrop to Billy Gunn, too. So that takes care of the Outlaws temporarily. Now Mankind has to find his way back to his corner to tag in The Rock. Oh, Mankind tags in The Rock. So now Rock getting the hot tag. Taking care of both Outlaws. So this should have a phenomenal ending here, because the crowd is now into it. Because Al Snow has been taken care of. Rock's in the ring. Samoan drop on Billy Gunn. Goes for the cover, but Road Dogg breaks it up. The Rock, spine buster on the Road Dogg. The Rock, rock bottom on Billy Gunn. That's got to be the end here. Goes for the cover. And Al Snow interferes in the match. So The Rock had the match won. Al Snow interferes, breaks up a pin. So there's a disqualification. Rock and Mankind win by disqualification, but obviously they don't win the tag titles. So here we go. Rock bottom on Road Dogg, and I bet he's going to go for the... Oh, no, People's Elbow. And The Rock bottom, Al Snow. Yep, and The Rock hit the People's Elbow on Al Snow. As he should have. Al Snow had no business being out there. Come on. So The Rock's music is playing now as Well, technically they did win the match, but no titles. And we're almost 2 hours into the show and it doesn't even feel like it. And that's because they knew how to pace a show back then. You know, now 2 hours into a WWE show, you're like, oh my goodness. Can we keep moving here? Because, like, WWE's premium live events are just covered with advertisements and video packages and matches that go on probably too long, and there's too much time between the matches. So then you only end up getting like a couple of matches on the show, usually around 5. They're showing the Big Show, Big Boss Man feud. And that's been going on for about 2 months now. And so Big Show will be facing Big Boss Man and defending the WWF Championship against him. They're showing the funeral of the Big Show's father, which is part of this storyline. And Big Boss Man shows up to the Big Show's funeral. Wow, this is a very long video package for the Big Boss Man, Big Show feud. I guess they're trying to highlight how serious the feud was, but let's be honest. I mean, you're getting a Big Show, Big Boss Man WWF Championship match. Now, in 1999, let me name some of the other WWF title matches that happened on pay-per-view. Rock versus Mankind in an I Quit match at the Royal Rumble. Rock and Mankind in a Last Man Standing match at St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 15. Rock versus Stone Cold at Backlash. I believe it was Undertaker versus Austin at Over the Edge. Rock versus Undertaker at King of the Ring. Austin Undertaker at Fully Loaded. Rock, Triple H, Mankind at SummerSlam. Unforgiven, there were 6 guys in there. There was Big Show, Kane, Rock, Mankind, Triple H, British Bulldog. And then even, No Mercy, Triple H versus Steve Austin for the WWF title. Survivor Series 99, Big Show, Rock, Triple H, WWF title on the line. So, there you go. I mean, literally every other show that year, every pay-per-view, had a legit WWF title match where you actually took it seriously because any guy could have won, you know. But in this case, is there anybody in the world who thinks they're going to make Big Boss Man the WWF champion? And the answer is no. And that's exactly the problem that WWE faces today in 2024. They don't really have a lot of legitimate challengers to their champions, their world champions. When Gunther steps in the ring, I mean, you pretty much know he's going to win that. You know nobody's pinning Gunther for a very long time. And same thing with Cody Rhodes, who's the WWE champion. Nobody beating Cody Rhodes. There's only a couple of guys you would take seriously as a threat to Cody or Gunther. Nobody else, you know. So they have all these world title matches that are meaningless because everyone knows who's going to win ahead of time. And that's what we have here. We have Big Show versus Big Boss Man for the WWF title, and everybody in that arena and everybody watching on pay-per-view knows that Big Show is walking away with the title. So there's no way Boss Man is winning the WWF title. Big Boss Man was mostly involved in the hardcore title division for most of 1999. So I mean, I think his biggest match that year was a Hell in a Cell match against The Undertaker at WrestleMania, and it was a terrible match. Boss Man has the mic. And basically, Boss Man basically telling Big Show that his storyline father is dead at this point. So, and Boss Man saying to Big Show that once Boss Man wins the WWF title here, that he will be the Big Show's daddy. And Big Show is probably going to rip Big Boss Man limb from limb. I should mention that Prince Albert has accompanied Boss Man to ringside. Okay, Big Show just ran in the ring and is absolutely thrashing Boss Man right off the bat. Jeez. Big Show just chokeslammed Prince Albert through the Spanish announce table like he was nothing. And Prince Albert is a huge guy himself. And right after he did that, Boss Man hit Big Show in the head with his steel steps. That's nuts. So, Boss Man knocked out the Big Show with the steel steps, but he's got to get the Big Show back in the ring. This happened on the outside. So he's got to get the Big Show back in the ring to actually win the title. He's got to... I think the crowd is chanting boring. Hey, I don't blame them. The best match they got on the show was Jericho and Chyna. They were excited to see The Rock, but then, Al Snow ruined that. So, man, considering Boss Man goes for the cover, gets a 2 count, but Big Show presses him off, does a kip up, is grabbing Boss Man by the throat. Big boot to the face of Big Boss Man. Big Show calling for the big choke slam, the showstopper. Big choke slam. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. That's it. And that's exactly what that match should have been, by the way. You definitely don't want to see a long match between Big Show and Boss Man because it doesn't really make sense because Big Show is a much bigger asset to the company than Boss Man is. And they obviously have big plans for Big Show's future. He is the world champion. And also remember, this was a blood feud between these two. So Big Show's been waiting to get his hands on Boss Man. So you want to see Big Show destroy Boss Man. It probably should have been more violent though, because really the whole match was just a chokeslam. That's about it. So next up will be the main event. Triple H versus Vince McMahon, no holds barred match. So at the Survivor Series of 1999, they're showing the video package leading into this match, this main event match. Vince McMahon interfered in the main event, cost Triple H his WWF title, and Vince McMahon counted the 1, 2, 3 in that match for Big Show to become the champion, and then proceeded to give the middle finger to Triple H right afterwards. So now Triple H obviously has a huge problem with Vince McMahon. So Triple H is saying Vince McMahon attacked him personally. So Triple H said he's going to get personal with his family. And so Triple H and DX started attacking Vince's family. So so I think there was one segment where Shane McMahon and Stephanie McMahon were pushed down a flight of stairs and were injured by that. And then there was another segment where Vince McMahon got into a car and started ramming the DX limousine and started attacking their limo with a steel chair. Oh no, a baseball bat. My mistake. And then Vince McMahon was arrested for that assault on their car. And then while Vince McMahon was handcuffed, Triple H attacked him and beat the heck out of him. Then on a separate episode, Vince McMahon showed up and hit Triple H in the back with a steel chair and threw him off the stage. Then Triple H took a temporary order of protection against Vince. He can't get within 50 feet of DX. Okay, and then separately from all of this, Stephanie McMahon was getting married to Test, and so they had a wedding on Monday Night Raw. Then when the priest presiding over the wedding said if anybody has any objections to this wedding, they should speak now or forever hold their peace. And then Triple H comes out in the middle of the wedding and shows a video on the Titantron where Triple H and Stephanie McMahon Wow. Okay, so here's the stipulation. So Triple H becomes Stephanie McMahon's husband because he drives her unconscious body to a drive-through wedding chapel and gets that done. So that ruins the wedding with Test. Whoa. They're showing Triple H signing the contract for this match at Armageddon, where if Vince McMahon wins, the wedding is annulled. If Triple H wins, Triple H gets a shot at the WWF title. Very interesting. And then, as soon as he signed the contract, he assaulted Shane McMahon and threw him off the stage. So at this time, Triple H and Stephanie, they're married, but Stephanie doesn't want to be married to Triple H. And there was a moment in a previous segment where Triple H forced a kiss on Stephanie McMahon. So that's where we are heading into this match between Triple H and Vince McMahon. Here comes Stephanie McMahon walking out to ringside. And Stephanie McMahon will be sitting front row to watch this match. Remember, Stephanie McMahon is technically the wife of Triple H at this point, but she doesn't want to be. Now, Triple H is coming to the ring with a sledgehammer in his hand. So, again, this is no holds barred. Anything goes. Now here comes Vince McMahon. Stephanie McMahon has a smile on her face when Vince's music hit. Oh, Vince McMahon had a surprise in store for Triple H. He just blinded Triple H with some like powder. He's got like UFC gloves on. That's what he's got. Vince McMahon. He's wearing black jeans, black boots, black sweatshirt, and he's beating up Triple H. You know what the funny thing is? None of that powder got on Triple H at all. But Triple H is pretending like he's blinded. Okay, Vince McMahon landed a flurry of right hands and Triple H falls to the mat. Vince McMahon has the upper hand early. Oh, wow. Vince McMahon Irish whipped Triple H into the steel steps on the outside. And remember, this is no holds barred. Everything's legal. It's a shame that the that they had this as the main event because, you know, it's a very muted reaction from the crowd because at the end of the day, it's just like this main event is for whether Triple H gets a title shot or his fake marriage to Stephanie McMahon comes to an end. Triple H and Vince are fighting in the crowd area. Oh, now they're going backstage, it looks like. Maybe. It's real dark. Can barely see. Vince McMahon has backdropped Triple H over the barricade. I almost feel bad for this audience because they're getting this as a main event. Because it's hard to believe Vince beating up Triple H. Hey, oh, this is funny. Mick Foley is rolling a shopping cart full of weapons to the ring. Actually, they probably needed this, you know? You know, other people can interfere in this match too. They should have Mick Foley go over there and beat the heck out of Triple H. Okay, so there's a shopping cart full of weapons, trash cans, looks like brooms and who knows what else. Okay, he's got a trash can lid, Vince McMahon. Triple H is trying to get back to his feet after getting beat up by Vince McMahon, which makes no sense. Oh. Triple H. Oh, shoot. Triple H was rinsing his eyes out with water because of the powder at the beginning of the match. And then now Vince McMahon is going to town on Triple H with a trash can lid to the head. My goodness. Now Triple H falls down after like 5 shots. And Stephanie McMahon is happy about it. Yeah, I mean, the whole Triple H, Vince McMahon, Stephanie thing is really like a soap opera type of stuff. It's laughable how ridiculous the whole thing is. But I remember seeing that wedding with Stephanie McMahon and oh, wow. Vince McMahon was just choking Triple H with a crutch that he got from somewhere. I guess from that shopping cart. And then Triple H just rammed Vince's head into the steel steps. Oh, wow. Low blow to Vince McMahon by Triple H using the crutch. I will say this is not a good match thus far. Vince McMahon has had better matches. Probably the best match Vince ever had was against Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 22. It's probably the best one. Also his match against Shane at WrestleMania 17 was good as well. But that's really mostly because of Shane. So Triple H is now using the weapons that Mick Foley brought down to ringside. Just hit him with like a sign, like a road sign. Now Triple H has wrapped his fist in a chain and is landing right hands on Vince's skull. I'm guessing Vince is going to get busted open here. And see, the worst part about this match is you know it's going to be a long match because this is like a big time feud and this is the main event of a pay-per-view, you know it's going to be a long match. Which was a mistake on their part. They really should have kept it short, because how much can Vince McMahon really do in a wrestling match? Vince McMahon just broke a stick over Triple H's back. And then just hit him in the back of the head with a road sign. Oh, Triple H just threw Vince McMahon into this like helicopter that's near the entranceway. Yeah, you know, this is another one of WWE's or WWF's decorative entryway sets that they had in the Attitude Era. So this one looks really cool too. Armageddon. It has like a theme of like some kind of a war zone. That's what you got. You got tanks, you got sandbags, a helicopter. So Triple H just hit Vince in the head with a sandbag and just threw him into some kind of a road case. Yeah, they just mentioned that Vince is in his 50s. Triple H is like 30. So, and Triple H is one of the biggest stars in the industry at this time. So, having a competitive match between these two is kind of ridiculous. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Triple H should be able to beat this guy. Even if you're having like a pro wrestling match, this match shouldn't be more than like 10, 15 minutes. But obviously this is going to be way longer. Triple H with a shopping cart got Vince right in the head. Triple H just hit him with a shopping cart. Shopping cart went right into Vince's face. Oh, Triple H tried to hit Vince McMahon with a 2x4. Vince blocked it and then hit Triple H in the head with a trash can. 1, 2, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6. Oh, no. 5 times. And then he put the trash can on Triple H's head and then threw the worst punch you'll ever see. Oh, big, oh, wow. Vince tried to hit Triple H with this, like, big wrench or something. And Triple H punched him in the face before he could use it. Or he didn't get the full blow of it because Vince did hit him. Now Triple H throws Vince headfirst into that helicopter near the entryway again. I don't know why they decided to have such a long match, because I don't know if they wanted to prove that that Vince could have a good match. Triple H just hit Vince McMahon in the head with some type of mounted gun. Wow, this is one of the dullest matches you'll ever see in the main event of a wrestling pay-per-view. Vince McMahon just Irish whipped Triple H into the tail of that helicopter. Oh, maybe that's not the helicopter. That's like an airplane. Again, basically they're using the set pieces as weapons. It's hard to watch Triple H sell for Vince McMahon because you're like, this is Triple H, come on, at the peak of his powers, and he's selling for Vince McMahon. And Vince, this is a train wreck. Vince is landing some of the worst punches you'll ever see to Triple H's body. And they're like trying to have like the longest match on the show, and they shouldn't even do that. Now they're backstage. They are having literally the worst match of the show. The pool match with the women was better. And I think the crowd is chanting boring, as they should. This is ridiculous. I don't know whose idea this was. This is their main event. This is like a punishment for those fans. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them just walked out. But they probably want to stay to get their money's worth, I guess. But man, yeah, I mean, like, the crowd is sort of just out of it at this point. Everybody's watching it on the screen because they're backstage. Vince is leaving the arena. I guess he's looking for Triple H, who has supposedly, I guess, escaped from him and is outside the arena. Triple H is just nowhere to be seen, and Vince McMahon is walking around the parking lot looking for him. Whoa, a car just tried to drive over Vince McMahon, and it didn't work. Triple H is beating up Vince. Oh wow, they're in the they're back in the arena now, and Triple H has brought Vince back, but Vince just hit Triple H in the stomach with a steel pipe, and this is a disaster of a match. This is one of the worst matches you'll ever see. Triple H is now climbing the staging area. You know what this is like? This is like a couple of kids like playing wrestling in their backyard. That's what this is. This is not a... There's no rhyme or reason to any of this. There's no actual anything. And any of the offense that Vince McMahon lands on Triple H is so terrible. Vince and Triple H are standing at the top of this lighting structure way above the floor. Hey! Whoa, Triple H just grabbed Vince's head, smacked it into the lighting structure, and Vince fell back first onto some type of mattress thing, I'm sure, to protect him. Now Triple H is climbing down the lighting structure. Yeah. Triple H is... Triple H was just on the mic talking to Stephanie McMahon. And Triple H basically said he's about to... And Triple H just hit Vince in the head with the mic. Anyway, he was on the mic taunting Stephanie McMahon. And Vince has blood all over his face. Uh-oh. Triple H has a pipe. And he brought Vince right in front of Stephanie. Triple H, sledgehammer in hand, standing over Vince McMahon, taunting Stephanie McMahon in the front row. Now, oh, Triple H raised the sledgehammer above his head and Vince McMahon low blowed him. Oh, and hit him in the stomach with a steel pipe. Or a lead pipe, that's what they're saying. This is one of the worst main events you'll ever see on a WWF pay-per-view. Geez, at least when Austin faced McMahon, it was entertaining. I mean, this is... Now, Vince has the lead pipe. Oh no, Vince has the sledgehammer. And he's about to hit Triple H with it. And Triple H is begging him to stop. Stephanie is telling Vince that she wants to be the one to hit Triple H with the sledgehammer. Stephanie has the sledgehammer. Stephanie couldn't bring herself to hit Vince with the sledgehammer. So wait, Stephanie couldn't bring herself to hit Triple H with the sledgehammer. Triple H grabs the sledgehammer and uses it on Vince and goes to pin him. 2, 3. Okay, he wins the match by hitting Vince with the sledgehammer. And Stephanie McMahon looks devastated. Stephanie looks devastated. Now Triple H still has the sledgehammer and is staring at Stephanie now. He's aiming the sledgehammer at Stephanie. And Stephanie now sees that he was trying to hit her. And now Triple H. Now Triple H and Stephanie were staring at each other, and then Stephanie went and hugged Triple H. And they don't really... wow, and then Stephanie is raising Triple H's hand in the air. They're hugging and kissing now. What in the world? And the women, I think, are cheering. And the women in the audience. That is ridiculous. So Triple H and Stephanie leave together, and Vince McMahon lays in the ring unconscious from getting hit with the sledgehammer and his face bloodied. And that is the end of WWF Armageddon 1999. Really the only match worth watching, Chris Jericho versus Chyna. So good job to those two, and everybody else should be ashamed of themselves. No, I mean the rest of the show was entertaining for what it was, but the only match that was really good was Jericho versus Chyna. And thank you for watching.